Oh,
Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Dead Funny University. I am your host and fellow student, Kelsey, and the person sniffing in the middle of my intro is
sorry.
Chris, who all of you know. Nah, I mean, I could do it over again or I can give you shit for it. I'm going with the giving you shit for it.
I gotta get used to this.
So, teaching us is Chris, obviously, and we are continuing with our 16th episode in our Zelda semester, and we are picking up right after. Oh my gosh, I've edited like 3 episodes, so I'm not totally. We're on our last temple at this point, right?
Nope.
No, we
Third temple.
finished our last. We're on third temple of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Okay, so what is our third temple? What are we jumping into?
We are going to be doing the Great Bay Temple now, which is the water temple, known as the headache temple that everybody hates so much. Literally got a headache just like reading up on it, just to kind of like catch base to back to where I was at. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes,
I
because we
hated that
left
temple so
off.
much.
We left off because you go near the Great Bay Temple and then you go off and you hang out with the Zoras for a while, right? And you do some
Yeah, we
stuff for
went
them.
into the pirate fortress. We
For the
saved all the Zora
Gerudos.
eggs. Yep.
Yeah, that was what we were doing. Okay, good. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here. And they
Yep.
became that little song. That's right, the little hatched Zoras. Oh, yes, that was cute.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we got a nice little song out of it, which we don't know what it does yet, but we're gonna find that out this episode. So,
Does it get us into the temple?
anyways, yeah, technically,
Okay.
I think that's fair. I mean, it does things that lead you to the temple, I guess I should say, but it's basically without it, you would get into the temple. So, I mean, you're not wrong.
Just
You're
not
not.
technically
So,
right either. Okay, I can roll with that.
yeah. So, anyways, so we get the song from the little kiddos and we learn that, and we now get to take a nice little walk into the what's it called? The Great Hall. Yeah, it's Great Bay Great Hall or something like that. Either way, it's where the Indigogos do all their music and stuff like that. It's a cool little place. This is basically where like all the Zoras hang out. This is where they're normally at, all that fun stuff. So yeah, we get to go to the Great Hall, and as we go in there, basically what we see is a whole bunch of people, as far as Zoras, are hanging around, waiting to hear the band come and do rehearsal. Just a whole bunch of civilian Zoras and stuff like that. So basically, you get to kind of wander around, which is the room itself isn't that big. It is kind of a cool little area. Unfortunately, with it being old school games, there really isn't like a lot of really detailed pictures. But I got what I could. But
We
yeah,
appreciate you
so
trying. Like anything at all
yeah.
is helpful.
So the only cool thing I did like about the Grand Hall with the clam is like that's where they do their performance, obviously, and they got like those old timey looking speakers, which is really really cool. They're just coming out of the clam's mouth. But yeah, so basically you're here, and this is your first time being around like the actual Zora population as Mikkel. So now you're kind of trying to figure out what you're doing, what you're there for. You got some memories, but not a lot. We just basically know a lot more of the stuff about Lulu. So basically, you walk around from door to door, and as you'll see, there's Zora's garden each door. You have to walk up, talk to them. They're basically making sure that random people aren't going in and bothering the bands while they're sitting there trying to, you play and get ready and warm up and stuff like that. So each different bandmate has their own room. So basically, you go, and it's pretty much just kind of like a let's get together, a little jam session, if you will. And you do it with each one of them. Once again, we have the drummer, the guy that's on the piano, if you will, or the keyboard. You've got the bass guitarist. Mikkel is the electric guitarist, and then you also have Lulu, who is the vocals. And that sums up the entire group of the Indigogos, which we've already kind of looked at before, but just kind of for a refresher. But yeah, so basically you go and spend time. Basically, it's one of those things where you are kind of putting together a little bit of a story by talking to each one of the bandmates. So like the dude with the drummer kind of tells you like he notices something's up with Lulu and he thinks he knows what the secret is. Doesn't really tell you. Then you go out, you kind of talk to the bassist guy, and he's like, "Yeah, she's been seeming weird ever since the water's changed and." Then it's like getting a piece from here, a piece from there. So it's like the waters are different. She's not speaking. Her kids were kidnapped. There's the fucking dragon cloud in the sky, like all that fun stuff. So you're just basically connecting like all these dots to like, okay, shit, all this came down at one point. Where do we need to go from here?
Mm-hmm.
So the weird part is that we go to Lulu's room, and there is definitely a guy, Zora, who looks like he is trying to peek through her keyhole to look in on her. Yeah, just a little
Excuse
bit.
me?
Yeah. And are trying to break into her room or whatever. So you address him, and he's all like, I wasn't doing anything. I'm not trying to spy on her. It's just that she's been like so different lately. And then he takes off running. So you follow him. He just runs upstairs. It's kind of dumb. It's just like a run upstairs thing. Like you just run upstairs after him, and then he's just standing up there with other Zoras. She wasn't in there, so it doesn't matter anyway. But it's kind of weird and
It
very
matters.
creepy.
It's creepy.
Well, yeah, I mean, as in like in this specific situation.
Yeah.
Thank God she wasn't in there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so you end up jumping down back into the water that's around the clam and go outside to where you can see Lulu is actually in that first picture we sent. She is actually standing outside to the left of the actual temple. So you go over and talk to her. You get nothing from her. You keep trying to talk to her. Nothing from her. So what do we do when we try to talk to somebody and we can't get anything? Well, we try to always play the newest song that we learned. So we play the song that we learned from her kids, which was the New Wave Bossa Nova. And then she starts to sing along with it. So her voice is coming back. She starts to sing along with the song, and all of a sudden the ground starts to shake and the water starts to, rustle around, and the island right next to you starts to come up. And lo and behold, it is the turtle. That's right. The turtle that we saw on that level forever ago. Yeah, he was asleep right next to us the entire time. We didn't know that. But yeah, he is now here and is now talking. So he says, even though he is asleep, he's the great turtle and he sees everything that's going on. And he knows that all the stuff that's been going on, that there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening at the Great Bay Temple out in the water where the dragon cloud is. And that's where you need to go next. So
I have
you
questions.
Go.
Cool. Is our lovely lady friend aware that we found and rescued her children?
Yeah, because basically it's like they're born with the song that their mother sung to them, so only they would know that song. So she knows that her children are safe.
So, but she hasn't been reunited with them.
Not yet. No, they're safely in a tank back at the Marine Research Facility,
and that's all she cares about.
Yeah, being looked at and cared for by the doctor or whatever, biologist, whatever, until we handle what's going on that's making the water so fucking crazy and could possibly end up harming her children. So,
and then my other one's not a question, it's just a comment. Actually, I do have a second question about the name of the turtle. But you described the water as rustling, and rustle is usually a word used for dry things. I don't think anybody's ever described water as rustling before.
Rustling water.
Not rushing water, not moving water, not, turbulent water. It's rustling.
That water's rustling quite a bit right now.
The same sound. Okay, that was weird. But the same sound that leaves make when a small creature is burrowing through them is the sound this water is making. You crack me up,
I hear every time I go to the beach. It's just a nice
rustling water.
Lawn of leaves just rustling about. So yeah,
thank God you're not blind, because you'd be hella confused a lot.
Oh man,
does the turtle have a name?
Beachfront property. Hell yeah. I don't know if the turtle actually does have a name. That's a great question because I remember trying to look it up, and I just kept saying, seeing people say the great sea turtle, but I don't think that he actually has a name in the game. I don't think like there was like let's put a name in the game. I don't think they did that. Yeah, it's just giant turtle. Yeah,
All right, cool.
that's all it
That's the
is.
end of my
Just
questions
giant
and my
turtle.
shit giving for the moment.
Yeah. So nothing too crazy with him. Just the turtle. That's all he is, and he is literally nothing else but a ferry for us to ride back and forth from where we are to the temple of or to the water temple and then back. That's literally all he's there for. It's the only reason he's there. So we switch back to young Link and pull out our hook shot and use that to snag one of the palm trees that's on its back to bring us onto the top of his back. And then we make our way to the water temple.
Ooh. And everybody's
Yeah,
headaches begin now.
yeah. I mean, obviously, we're not going into this because that would be super fucking boring and not necessary whatsoever to the story at all. But we are going into the water temple to talk about what we fight. Yeah. So basically, we go into the water temple. The reason why this one is kind of weird and I wasn't a big fan is they tried to do like it's kind of like a mechanical thing, right? So the temple itself looks like a mechanical fish, and you don't really see it too much. And it was hard for me to get a picture, but somebody had like an in-game picture, and you'll notice it whenever I send it. Link's holding like this weird, crazy, big purple sword. That's actually the Great Fairy Sword. So rescuing all the fairies, you can get the Great Fairy Sword, which does like a shit ton of damage. Um, but yeah, that's the actual temple itself. The turtle brings you up to the mouth, and you go in, and so on and so forth. So the insides of it are like there's all these like tubes going every which way, and those are carrying water, rustling about through the tubes to get to where the rooms that you need to go. And that's pretty much all you do is just trying to correct flows to go the way that you need them to go, to open doors and back and forth and back and forth. It's so annoying.
It
I hate the
sounds
water temples.
tedious.
It is. The water temples suck ass every time.
Ew.
Every time. I hate them. I
Well,
hate them.
when we've discussed the water
Ass
temples
suckers.
before, okay, ew. But when we've described water temples before, it always sounded like they were frustrating, like they were challenging. It was timing stuff, and this just sounds tedious.
Well, I mean, and well, where the frustrating aspect comes into it, so like, let's say, for instance, you're in a corridor and there's 6 doors, right? And you have these tubes that are going down each way. And this is not coming from memory. This is just a random example. So don't, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, Chris is about to tell me how to beat the water temple, that's not about to happen. So
Don't add
tubes
him.
going down every which way. I mean, let's put it this way: the water temple is repressed memories at this point. So tubes running down each way, and you need to do something with this current in order to get this door to open, and then this current to get this door to open. And it seems like, oh, okay, cool, I understand what's going on, but then it fucking throws you for a loop, and it's like, now you need to get into this door, but you got to go back and fix the currents for here, 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 here. And if you fuck up here, here, and here, and it cuts off current here, then all this is going to shut down. You can't access that to get back in there. So then you got to start all the way back over from scratch. It's such a pain in the
Ew.
fucking ass. I hate the water temples. I hate them.
Ew.
They're fucking assholes every time. So
The bulk of the swearing will be occurring around this one moment.
pretty much, yeah. Every single time, it's like fucking. Where's the Advil? And then that's all right. Let's play the fucking water temple and get it over with. Woo. Like I always have, like every time I play a new Zelda game, I'm always like, yes. And I'm so excited. I dive into it and I have so much fun. And I get to the water temple, and I'm just like, I knew it was coming, and it's fucking here. Yeah, water temple's always an asshole. Except for I mean, there's still the current thing that you had to do in Breath of the Wild, but it wasn't as bad. Because what I liked about Breath of the Wild, and obviously we'll get there at some point, but like their dungeons weren't really dungeons. Like we'll get further into it when we get there, obviously. But there, it was like there was these ancient beasts and there are these machines. So each machine is somewhat built like the other one, except they all are a little different due to the fact of what beasts that they look like. So with that being a thing, It's like they couldn't be drastically different, but it was more like the inner workings of the machine was based off of like the element. So for the inner working for the elephant it was the one that was in the water. So you had to just mess with the water wheels and stuff like that and get from point A to point B. But there's not really that much room in these machines to really consider them temples. Like I feel you could probably clear out all the ancient beasts in like I mean, I could probably clear each one probably less than an hour, like, each one of them to where like most of these temples, it's going to take a long fucking time to just knock that entire fucking thing out when in the older Zelda games.
Mhm.
So, but Breath of the Wild is the first open world Zelda we've ever had. So there's so much to cover outside of just these four temples. So it takes a while, and they actually made the bosses challenging versus it's like whatever new weapon you get is pretty much the fucking um the god slayer to whatever boss you're about to fucking fight,
Mhm.
so yeah, it's kind of always been like that. And all those other ones, where these were just like you needed to like really be smart on how you were trying to fight each one of these bosses in Breath of the Wild, which is pretty interesting. So, is what it is. But yeah, so back to it. So yeah, the fucking water temple. Yeah, that one. So
We're still pissed about it.
we get in, yeah, we're still pissed about it. So we get into the water temple and we go through all the shit we got to go through, and we end up fighting. I don't know how to say his name. Girog, Girog. I don't know. It's this stupid fucking fish with this eyeball in his mouth for literally no reason other than for you to hook shot it out of his mouth and attack it. But yeah, the gargantuan masked fish is who we're fighting. You slay him, you kill him. We're kind of in a rinse and repeat at this point. We're
Mhm.
going through these towers, and we get our mask, and we move forward and get our fucking Titan out of there. And yeah, we are now 3 Titans down, 3 towers down, and now we can go into something that I probably should have talked about a long time ago, which I didn't. And honestly, I completely fucking forgot it existed. I'm not gonna lie.
What the fuck?
Basically, because it's that useless. But there is this lookout tower, and it's actually kind of funny because, like, out of all the things for me to forget, something that so closely resembles Final Fantasy VII, you think I would remember, but they have a lookout tower, and it looks like fucking Boomhagen's lookout tower in Cosmo Canyon. But basically, it's a way for you to go and kind of check on like where the moon is at, how far away it is. This is the guy that kind of gives you a lot of the information. So you can go and talk to him. It's really not that big a deal. It's not like it's a huge thing to go and talk to this guy, but he does exist. And he's got like this little scarecrow where like you play music for him, he dances and he tells you exactly like how much longer is left and stuff like that. Or he'll like portray some other stats for you as well. Whatever. I don't know. It's like I said, it's a weird room, and there's really nothing else to do here besides talk to this fucking old guy who literally does nothing all day but just stare at a moon that's gonna slap him in the face sooner or later. So I mean, maybe when you're that old, you're just like, fuck it, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But yeah, okay, cool. I was actually able to find some okay-ish pictures, I guess. It's the hard part about these older games. Trying to get these scenes so that way you can kind of help paint that image a little bit better.
Well, just so
But
you know,
yeah,
there are times that I've gone when we've discussed something and you didn't have an image for me, and I'm like, maybe I can go find that. And I'm Googling these things and I'm finding incredible fan art. And I'm like, I don't know if this is fan art from this game or if this is fan art from one of these other games, or there are like screenshots, but I'm not totally sure which game it's from. So I'm just like, I'm not going to put it in because last thing I'd want to do is put in like an image of Ganon or Ganondorf from the wrong game and have people like up in
mm,
arms and angry at me. So at this point, I'm just like, if Chris doesn't give it to me, it's not going in because I'm not going to try to do this on my own.
it's like it's not canon. Fuck. But yeah, no, I understand. I think like really the only thing that ever happens with this guy, and it's like in this next picture that I'm sending here too. Really, the only thing that ever happens with this guy is like at some point you see like a teardrop fall from the moon, and you can go pick it up, and it's kind of like a special trophy in the game. And you can bring it back, he puts it in that case, but that's really about it.
Okay, what
Nothing
does the
like
evil,
actually
creepy
happens here.
moon have to cry about?
I guess that he's gonna die. I mean, I guess the moon would die too, right? I mean, both the planets. There's no way he's gonna slam into this planet and just be okay.
I
I
mean,
mean, he might.
celestial bodies collide all the time, and that's what happens. They're okay. That's kind of how the moon got to this planet in the first place.
I get that, but it's like, I mean, he's gonna lose like a nose or something, or like break half his
Yeah,
fucking teeth
it's gonna
out. You
be
know?
harder to date because your face is gonna be a little freaked up, but
Yeah,
how much is he
thought crap
dating
too.
anyway? What does like celestial Tinder look
Hey,
like? I guess I don't know.
okay, yeah.
What the hell was that look for? Are you trying to
Oh
say that the
god.
moon can get it for you?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. East
I hate
done,
this. I hate it. I
done.
hate it. I hate it.
Literally be butt ass naked, just laying on the top
Nope.
of the clock
Nope.
tower, like.
Zero part of this. Not okay.
Well, you realize time's running out, right? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You're incorrigible. Which I haven't said to anyone over the age of 8, I think, in my entire life.
That's funny.
Seems
I
appropriate
mean,
for
I'm
you.
pretty much mentally 8, so it's all right. I act like a kid. It's okay. I'm all
I
right with that.
fully support this.
We can go ahead and wrap this class here. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to lay down the fact of, kind of how we're going to move forward, so that way, everybody
Yeah,
can know what to look forward to. For some people
absolutely.
who are just wanting to hear the main story, I do strongly encourage you guys to tune into the episode we go to do with all the side quests, because some of those are actually really interesting. I guess to kind of do a little bit of a flirt with one of them. There is a whole boyfriend goes missing type deal, but is he really missing and hiding and maybe
Ooh.
trying to keep his fiance safe and stuff like that, or is he actually dead? Is he a ghost the entire time? We get a mask from soothing his soul. Who knows? There's like a whole mystery there. So yeah, there's actually really cool stuff. So I'm excited for
Fun.
that too.
Well, that's a teaser for what will come up next, and that will do it for our 16th
Mhm.
class on Zelda. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. You guys subscribing is hugely helpful to us. You guys leaving comments is hugely helpful to us. Knowing that you guys are watching our content, like, it makes our day. Like I've said before, Chris and I send them to each other. We're super excited about it. We do have Twitter or Twitch links if you'd rather come and hang out with us there, but we will see you in the next class of Dead Funny at University either way. Bye, friends.